YouTube, going for a wee bit of a lesson, a lesson. Nope. How efficient can it be? Currently it is 18:18. I've not done a video today because I was busy doing stuff. So I'm going to try and put this out for 7 o'clock, and it's already 40 minutes. So can I do a video in 40 minutes? Anyway, I was away picking up a few guitars off the chap in the Bucky Rage, who showed my belly. Because it's been a rush. Yeah. So I've got a few guitars to do up. The band Bucky Rage, they've got a song called Ghost Rider. That's how I know who they are. I've said this story in the video I've already recorded on the GoPro, but just said one quick. So, come on, focus on me. A Revelation Vox, mad looking thing. The chap said he bought that. How's it? A bit of a penisy headstock, maybe. I don't know why. Entwistle pickups. So interesting stuff. This just needs a setup. The guy said he got it as in a trade for something years ago and just never got down to it. The chap has quite a few mental looking guitars. Did you see this? I do know that the Bucky Rage was playing what look like this, but actual original Vox ones in blue. I didn't take either of them because the guy only lives 15 minutes up the road. Well, he lives half an hour up the road because of the fucking roadworks, but so I can drop it off, but apparently he says he works in steps, so kind of imagine he drives along that road anyway. It's literally a mile extra or something to come and pick his guitar up. So I'm going to. I've taken 4 away with me. This one basically just wants a bit of a setup, and I suppose strings. Oh fuck! I don't have strings. I need to go into Thingy and buy them. Maybe if he wants 9s on it, I'll ask him. I think I've got a couple of sets of 9s. So a Revelation Vox. Not Teardrop, but called something like that. Should be interesting. Some mental ones here. Another one of these. It's like these are the new Gibson. It's $7,000 I saw, and it's one of the wee Sakai guitars. I think that may actually be a red scratch plate. I think it is. I think someone's made that. Yeah, someone's made the red scratch plate. But yeah. So one of your quirky ones is quite an interesting little curve here. Oh, hear that? Now, yeah. So wee things. That's it. I thought that was a body mounted pickup, but it's not. It's actually it must be somehow scratched because it's moving. That's why it's vibrating. The problem I've had with these before, especially with a bass, is the action rate it's for slide, right? But see if you do that, or doing that one, you can see it better. The string's actually touching the pickup. So even when new, these things need a little bit of work. But in saying that, look how worn that fretboard is. So it's been played. It feels quite good. Again, I'm not really. These guitars are well used, but they're not neglected. You know, they're not been bits missing and flung about. Yeah, this one I think this is the one I'm most looking forward to do. I need to remember this has got a red strap on it. In fact, what I'm going to probably do with this strap is put it in the one gig bag I've got with it, so he gets that back definitely. Danelectro, and it's what even it's basically it's a Danelectro shape in it. That's quite a bad dink there. But I think this is a proper, in fact, you know, like hardwood pine frame type thing, lipstick pickups. He used to love it, but basically this one a bit more of a refurb and thingy, but nothing major wrong with this, just in a tart it up. I also need to make a back plate for it somehow. The electrics look to be new. So this isn't a, when I say it's not a real Danelectro. Oh, I see what the problem is with the pickups. They're you raise and lower the pickups using these screws in the back. That looks like an original screw, that looks like an original screw, that doesn't, and that one's not there. So it might be a case of finding new screws to put in there. But apparently these things weren't expensive. It is. It's just made of tape. Look, see the edge. You can see it there. It's just basically to hide the pine. They've just put. It's not insulating tape. It's kind of like a sort of leather effect. Look, vinyl tape. They just put around the edge to hide the fact that it was just bare pine. Rocking. Apparently these things weren't particularly expensive. Made in China, serial number 01. So maybe 2001. But he was saying they were like 120 quid new. And it's like 2001. I did play the guitar. I wasn't mad into guitars then. I played the guitar. I had my SG and all that, and I was like, of course, if you want a guitar that's good, you've got to buy a Gibson or a Fender. You can't buy other good guitars for much, much less that are as good as a Gibson SG. Yep. But apparently this was only like 120 quid new or something like that. I'm sure. I don't know. It's one of those ones that, see, when you see a picture of it, you might be getting this vibe right now. Why would you want that? But see, when you see it in real life, it's like pure, it's mental. I'd love one of these. And for me, it was always the thing that put my problem with Danelectros. I've said this before. It's designed to be super cheap. Like the 50s ones, they were like, I don't know, about a tenth of the price of a Fender or something like that, or a tenth of the price of a Gibson. But it was a guitar that actually worked. It was like the guy who did it was an engineer. He was a bit of a me, actually, whoever Mr. Danelectro was. So you got something that did work and did have its own sound, and it functioned. This one is a modern one, so it's actually got, intonable saddles, whereas I think the original one would just have a wee piece of wood in there, but still would work. And it's got a aluminium nut. Yeah, it's actually held in with a wee screw. Lots of very, very quirky, this guitar, but this is the kind of thing you get quirky. It's like pure, I describe quirky in a bad way. It's like pure, yeah, well, stick it through a fuzz pedal. This, if your guitar collection consists of like a few Les Pauls and Strats and Tellys, this will sound completely different to all of them. Whereas I think so would this, but I think this will sound much better than that, but much in the same sort of vibe. I bet you this. I'm really looking forward to. This is what I'm going to do with this one. Is I'm going to clean up and do this one first, and then offer him to pick it up on his way home from work one day or something, so that rather than just getting the 4 guitars back and I've got 4 new guitars, I'd much rather he's like, here's the first one, bang, and he can enjoy this on its own. He's got a new guitar for a few days. This all happens because he only lives up the road. I quite like that idea. So he can enjoy it on its own. But I'm looking forward to playing this. I want to know what this sounds like. I don't know if someone offered me this in a trade or something, I'd be like, all over the place. If this was, if it was 100 quid in the condition it's in, no. But cleaned up and working, and 100 quid, I would buy it for myself. I think. My thoughts are this is like a £250, £300 guitar once it's clean. I think, even if they did only cost £100 new. Yeah, so there's one more which I can't quite make out the. It looks like it's had like an embossed logo on it. It looks like it's a C or a G, M, B, and maybe AA, capital letters, kind of recessed in, but so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an output jack, and it's very interesting, this, and also which I've never seen on an actual guitar that works. What's that? Oh, look, see if you push that down. I'm not going to do it now. Oh, I can't believe it's not working anymore. It was totally working in this house. What's going on? There you go. Oh, you have to pull it up. It's not like a pen. So it's got a rubber string mute thing that you pop up and it stays up and it mutes your strings, so you can get palm muting. Or this isn't in tune. I'm not sure he's ever had this guitar working. So ultimately, the answer to it is no, I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these 4 turn on each individual pickup. That's where you plug it in. I don't know. So I think this is a Soviet unit. It's got a mad. I suppose that makes it a 2-bolt neck, or should it be a 3-bolt neck? Like, it's obviously had like a neck plate on here, but the neck plate was just to cover up the actual neck plate, which is 3 screws on a wee triangular thing. So I don't know. Again, an action you could ski down. You can actually see through the action. This I don't even know what it is. I think it could be Soviet. I think this output jack, which doesn't look original, I think it's maybe because it had like one of those wee crazy 3-pin things. Because back in this era, you couldn't buy electric guitar, or these were the only electric guitars you could buy in Russia, and you couldn't buy amps. So folk used to literally climb up like tannoy poles, when you got your communist propaganda things, the big trumpet tannoy things, and steal them off lampposts, wire them into the mains, and connect them in. They played their guitar through it. That's literally how you played the guitar in Russia at this point in the 70s. Later on, in the 90s, the Sovtek was the amp to have. If you were in Russia, it's like, you've got a Sovtek. A proper pro. It doesn't have dots on the edge of the fingerboards. That's kind of not one of its main issues, though. It's got all the original tuners. Yes. So, 4 interesting guitars. I'm still going to go with... I'll go with that being a bit interesting. Maybe that one's not particularly interesting. The other ones are, though. Yes. So, I think the guy's got a big pile of guitars. Ones that I think looks like they've been sitting in a rack for a good few years anyway. But yeah, I mean, I just find these things incredibly interesting. Oh god. Yeah. So I'll be able to make it work somehow. I'll make it play. Apparently it says it might be stereo as well. So I wonder if it's got a stereo jack output on it. And he was immediately talking about like, I said, up here the stereo. I understand the stereo thing. I've done stereo before where 3 strings go to one side, 1 amp, and 3 go to the other, so you can kind of go bump, 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 bump. And he's happy. I was thinking you could have it on, and then have a second amp sort of thing. So you're playing on your, I don't know, any combination of these 2 pickups. These could be series switches. So that would make sense if there was 3 of them, wouldn't it? Or it would make sense if there were phase ones as well. So that they might be phase. Because you get 4 on-off switches for 4 pickups, and then a phase between, you can only reverse the phase on 3 of them, would make sense. It's probably phase rather than humbuckery, because I don't think no, I think they might be. It's attracted to that one. It's not attracted to that one. So those 2 are opposite lines. So those 2 together in series is a humbucker. Those 2 doesn't seem to be, but well, who's to know exactly with something like this? 13 minutes. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this by 7 o'clock. So this video, sorry, it's a wee bit late. I think I'm going to rearrange I never really wrote it down on stone anywhere that I was going to do a video every night at 7 o'clock. So I think basically I'm going to get a little bit of leeway in that. No one's ever complained, but it's like sort of 7 or 8 o'clock. Rock on, and expect to see some of these starting to pop up in videos shortly. And the guy's got more guitars. I just didn't want to take too many away. He said there was no rush, but I really like the idea of giving him back. The first one he showed me, the Danelectro, which is like was his favourite at one point, so I'd love to get that up and clean and running and give it back to him, and then he'll give him a week or a few days with that on its own, so he can enjoy having a new guitar, and then give him the other ones back later, and then pick up the other ones he's got. I don't think I saw all of them. Basically the ones he showed me were these 4 and the Vox. He's got 2 blue Vox ones which looked like this, which were his gigging guitars, but he said they became unreliable when you looked at them, and it's like he's basically done what I noticed with my the gigging guitars from after the end. Do a gig, fine. Oh, rehearsing Wednesday. Wipe the guitar down after a gig. Don't leave it in the gig bag for a few days. Then it just, you open up and you go, what's happened to it? Ah! So clean your guitars. I think is what's happened to they just have that sort of bit sort of rusty look thing going on, the Vox ones. But I'm expecting the Vox ones to be, although they're this shape, to be a bit more mental. I think this probably has a more, not average, a more normal sound and feel. This probably doesn't feel that unlike a Stratocaster, and it probably doesn't sound that unlike a Stratocaster, a 5-way switch. Whereas I'd imagine the original one probably doesn't feel or sound like a Strat in any way. It's one of these, it's its own thing. I do like Revelation guitars. Okay, they do some very interesting ones. Anyhow, so rock on, and I will catch you up tomorrow with a proper video, hopefully.